Hey, it's this old outboard. Easter Sunday morning, about 8:30, overcast, and I really wanted to go fishing because every Easter I've ever fished, the fishing was always great. But I've got to pull the motor off the John boat, the 62 Johnson, and get those damn gaskets changed out. Let me show you what I did here. My little locking. This is a bicycle lock. I don't know if you can see what's going on. But anyway, the lock comes through, goes through the hole for the overboard cable hole, and then drilled it right through the transom. So a little bit of a pain in the ass to get off if you really want to steal this damn thing. Boom, just like that, baby. Alright. There's just nowhere to grab this son of a bitch. This frickin' hood does not want to lock. Alright. Whew, it don't come off on me. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Not too bad. Up in here, back there, discolored, very discolored. And after I got her up and running, I had a small residue of gas and oil and water. So something is leaking under there. Okay, so I'm going to disconnect my fuel pump here, my kill switch wires, my carburetor linkage, choke and adjustment linkage. There we go. Alright, fuel line. Kill switch. Disconnect my choke linkage. Choke handle. Going to loosen the nut on the high speed. Adjusting needle. Because I don't want to screw up the packing in there. Twisting this puppy out. Oh! Yeah, there's still gas in that car. So I guess it's right around 9 o'clock. See how long this shit takes. Alright, so that should do it. Oh, shift linkage. Alright, so underneath I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 bolts plus the one up front, number 7, which is the biggest pain in the ass, so I'm going to get that one out first. 7/16 with a little bit of a swivel. It's a pain in the ass because it's right. Can't even barely get the socket on it. So I have to lift this up somehow. Like that. And I remember on the Johnsons, Evinrude's 15 horse 9.9s, had to use that damn swivel to get up in there. Boy, that thing looks long. Oh, baby. Everything's coming out nice, no stuck, corroded bolts. Find that ratchet wrench. So those are the biggest bolts. Yep, 5/16. Wires, CARB, gas. All right, take her out. Sit her down over here. Boom. All right, so this is the baffle that I was talking about. And here's one of the gaskets. And the baffle goes in the middle. And it's covering up this entire area, which is a little bit weird. But anyway, like I say, you could probably just get away without using this stupid thing. But I'm going to leave it in there. I've got the 2 gaskets, and I'm going to put it back in there and the way it's supposed to go. And I don't know what the hell that is. A little bunch of shit there. Then over here, there's the other gasket I tore off, which I don't know what this plastic shit is on there. And this has got to come all off. Alright, so there's a better shot. Got a little razor scraper here. I'm going to scrape this sucker off. Alright, there she is. The gasket is off. Cleaned up. Looks like I had a little tiny crack right there, which is strange. It's not cracked on the outside though. And I'm going to clean all this off before I take off those exhaust gaskets. And the lower gasket, because there are 2 gaskets on this thing, it came off real easy, cleaned up real nice. I'm going to clean all this shit up too. This is missing the rubber seal that goes in here, and I may slap a little bit of silicone in there just for the hell of it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Alright, got everything pretty much cleaned up. Unfortunately, that discoloration is probably not ever going to go away. And believe it or not, I threw a little bit of bleach on it to see if I could lighten it up a little bit. Who knows? Maybe it'll work. All cleaned up here. I think I already took a shot of this. Anyway. Alright, let's get that exhaust. Alright, so here's why it was leaking. These screws were just super loose. I don't know if they just vibrated loose over time, or if somebody replaced these at one time and of course, it's just the 3 bottom ones. Anyway, that one's loose. Thank you to the screw gods. And let's see what we got here. Loose, thank you. Alright, so I've run into this problem before, and what I've done here is, you can look at my screwdriver. I see this is Harbor Freight screwdriver, and you should be able to put a wrench on the end of it, but believe it or not, that thing just sits in there. It's not actually connected to the screwdriver. So what I did was I cut a little notch in there, and that enables my wrench to fit right in that notch, so I can get some torque on these kind of screws. Anyway, I can't do this with one hand, so let me try to loosen these screws up. Alright, I've got most of them loose except for 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've got this one to budge up here, and I'm all out of PB Blaster. I have a little weed eater 2-cycle oil I dripped in there, and you can see for the most part all these screws, the heads are in good shape, but of course the ones I can't get out, well, that one still looks good. The ones I can't get out are all already, the head is getting screwed up on them. So I'm going to tap on them and beat on them and throw whatever lube I got in there, and see if we can't get them to loosen up. Alright, I've got 2. This one and this one's giving me trouble, and I took a punch and tapped the head, try to get the gap to close back up, put the screwdriver back in, and I'm still just twisting the frickin' screwdriver out. I do not want to drill these fuckers out. Alright, I got this one out, threw a little heat on it. You can see how the top of the screw is mangled. That's how this one looked, and then I just keep tapping it back down, and I actually got a half a turn out of it. So, alright, got her loosened up. Mangled the corner there a little bit. I'll tap that one back, and then I gotta tap that one back. That one probably needs a little tapping, that one needs a little tapping. Or I should just frickin' replace them. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Alright, so typically a couple of them are corroded, a little crusty. I'm gonna soak them up, clean them up, and go ahead and reuse them, because I really don't want to go hunting down screws today. But now that I've gotten them loose and everything, I can pop one out anytime, take it down, match the threads, bing, bang, boom. Alright, so popped right off, obviously. Needed gaskets because it just a little bit fried out. Not bad though. And my pistons look good. Not on any problems on this side really. So what I'm going to do is put these pistons up even Steven here and get all this shit out of here and get the vacuum, clean it all. And this is what I was using to round out those the heads on those screws, just an extension, and tip here is kind of rounded, and tapping down on it. Alright, get this shit cleaned up. So wasn't too bad. Thank God I didn't have to drill those screws out, but when you do have to drill them out, this is usually the spot. Alright, it's 11:50, doing pretty good on time here. and took the old wire brush, buzzed around a few times. Looking like we're in pretty good shape here. So let's get them new damn gaskets on and get this over with. The gaskets are in. Everything's clean. The screws have been soaking in some oil. Get some of the crud off of them. They look pretty good. And the ones that are fucked up, I'm gonna put them on the bottom. And what I'm gonna do is go in a circular motion, working my way out. Oop, as if I was putting on a head, and get them all down snug, and then come back and give them a good twist. Alright, so I went around, snugged everything down, went around again with the wrench on the screwdriver, twisted everything down nice and snug, then went around a third time and just you know, tucked everything in best I could, try to make everything feel as even as possible. Get the stem gaskets and baffle in. I had to set up the umbrella. It's just getting too freaking hot out here, high noon. Anyway, what I also did was I put a silicone layer in and around here. Has nothing to do with the gasket. Got a little bit of schmutz on there, but it has nothing to do with the gasket. There should be a rubber seal in there. Just keeps the dirt out, the dust down, the noise down. So I've done it before and it's never hurt anything. So I figured I'd slap some in there. I also put some in a few of the holes where the screws go, because I'm going to put a couple of screws up in there and to keep this shit lined up, because when I go to put that freaking power head on, everything starts moving around. Alright, so here comes the fun part. Gasket number 1. Actually, a little bit of silicone that did get on is actually going to hold that gasket in place a little bit better also. Alright, where in the hell is my baffle? Here it is. First gasket goes on, baffle goes in. This shit lined up as best we can keep it lined up. And the second gasket goes on. This is where the screws come in, or the bolts come in, to hold these things straight. Come on out of there, you fucking piece of shit. The other one didn't have anything on it. So that's going to help hold it on and in place. Also, if I can get this kind of shit that just frustrates the shit out of me. Yay, motherfucker. Did anybody see any of that? Alright, so we want this puppy perfectly as we can. And of course, it's not sticking to the baffle like it did to my fingers in the plastic. Anyway, see if you can take a quick shot of that. There, everything's lined up. I'm going to get the screw in there, or a few of them in there, and see if we can get this damn thing in there. I want that silicone on there. Hold that puppy in. Boy, it's just falling right out. You see that shit? God damn. Alright, that looks a little... No, there it goes. Son of a bitch. Alright. I'm going to get some tape and tape it in from the bottom. Slap a piece of tape on there. I'm going to put it up here on the side. Alright, so once again, the silicone has no bearing on the gaskets. It's just there. I'll show you later. You can see it around the edge here. just a barrier, just to seal up this compartment area. All right, let's try to get that fucker in. Now, the biggest problem is always damn. Nope. There's always these damn crankshafts are in the wrong friggin' spot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put this thing in gear and spin the prop around until the power head drops on like it just did. Alright, so I think we're pretty lined up. Let me get a couple of these in. And I don't want to do them super tight because I want to make sure everything is lined up. Before I tighten everything down, because the biggest problem is the bolt up front. Alright, so like I said, just gonna put these in, not even snug, just enough, and then this side should be lined up. Not even snug. This side, get my wrench. Hold on. Boom, goes right in by hand. In really good shape, really good shape. Alright, they're all in. They're all just not even really snug. They're just there. And I've got to get the last one in, the one up front. It's a total pain in the ass, but I think we'll be alright.
You know the channel.